Hello, friends, and welcome back to a new episode of I Do Work Here, Lady. Today we have three great stories. The first one, yes, sir, I'm working in your yard. You have an appointment. The second, actually, I'm the owner. And third, hospital security gets me fired for going in places I'm allowed to go. So I hope you'll watch this video to the end, and let's get started. Yes, sir, I'm working in your yard. You have an appointment. I'm a service technician for the gas company. I am also the only female service technician for the gas company. This leads to confusion on a daily basis. So I arrived to a 9 to 12 appointment the other day at 9:05 a.m. Super simple job, exchange gas meter, inspect gas equipment in the house, relight equipment, then be on my way to my next call. We get 30 minutes allotted for each job like this, but dispatch understands that this doesn't always work. Sometimes it takes 15 minutes if the old meter was installed well and the gas equipment's all new, but sometimes it takes 3 hours if I have to rebuild their whole service and coax an old boiler back to life. I grab my tools out of the truck, grab a new meter, and head to the front door. The call says, hazard dog. So I figure it's best to check in with the customer before I head into the yard. I knock and ring the doorbell, no answer. So I pull the customer's number off of the call and give him a ring. Me. Good morning. This is Functionarende from the gas company. You have a meter exchange appointment booked for this morning. Is anyone at home? Customer. Not at the moment. Is the tech there already? Me. Yes, sir. I'm here at the address. Will you be home soon? Customer. Yes. Tell the tech to wait. I'll be home in about 15 minutes. Me. Okay, I'll wait for you. Can I start working in the yard or is your dog outside? Customer just hung up, so I decided to wait. Anyway, it's minus 28 Celsius, minus 40 with the wind chill. I'm bundled up, but I'm going to be outside all day, so I decide to wait in the truck to preserve my warmth. I drop my tools and the new meter off at the gate to the yard and sit in my truck until the customer pulls into the driveway. When the customer arrives, I immediately shut my truck off and jog over to the house. Customer. So I spoke with someone in the office. They said the tech was already here. Where is he? I have to get back to work soon. I can't wait here all morning. Me. I am the tech, sir, and that was me you spoke with. If you're all good, I'll get that meter changed out for you and then get your furnace and water heater going. Customer. Well, if you say so, but if that's the case, where are your tools? Me. Over by the gate. I left them there so they'd be ready to go when you got here. Customer. Okay. Say, how long have you been doing this? Me. This specifically? A little over a year. Working in the industry almost 9 years. Customer. Okay, go ahead. You don't have anyone coming to help you? Me. No, sir. This is a pretty simple job. I should have it done in 15 to 20 minutes or so. And the call said you have a dangerous dog. Is it contained? Customer. He's a 12-year-old beagle. You're fine. I don't know why anyone thought he was dangerous. So I could have started almost 3/4 of an hour ago at this point, and my next 2 calls were in jeopardy because of how long I'd been here at this point. So I get to work. And sure enough, his meter set is in pretty rough shape. I pull the meter off with some difficulty and my largest wrenches. Then I start cranking some of the bad fittings out so I can rebuild part of the set to make this job easier the next time we have to change the meter, and generally safer. He was leaning over my shoulder the whole time, continually asking me if I was sure I knew what I was doing and if I really didn't need to call for help. So I got my fitting done and went inside. Sure enough, the gas equipment was all high efficiency, so all it took was a couple resets to clear out the air bubbles and it all fired up perfectly. The call took about an hour once I actually had my tools on, which is a little longer than anticipated, but a pretty good time frame for the work. I wound up having to leave the place in a safe condition. A very good time frame, mind you, for any tech who could have had the call. As I was gathering my things to go, he got one last jab in. You know, I would really appreciate it if they'd actually send a real tech next time. I don't feel comfortable having one of the office girls doing this kind of work for me. I'm going to have a word with the gas company and tell them as much. Me. Sir, for the last time, I am a qualified service technician. The next customer was a very sweet old lady who met me at the door and immediately presented me with muffins. They told me you were coming, even though it should be illegal to work in this temperature. I made muffins. Take them. You deserve it. They really shouldn't be making you work in this. It'd be such a happy coincidence if every time he needed service, you were the only tech available. And let's move on to our next story. Actually, I'm the owner. Okay, so backstory. I'm young, like I just turned 18 young, and me and my mother own this business where we breed and sell snakes and the snake's necessities along with food. I'm the actual founder while my mom is the co-founder. Story. I was tending the store since only me and my mom worked there. It was a slow day for us, so I was checking on the animals, feeding the ones that needed fed, and so on. This one person, we'll call them Entitled Parent, EP. I'm me. EP comes in and is just looking at all the animals, and I thought nothing of it until about 5 minutes or so go by, and they walk up to the counter, and ET snaps at me to get my attention. I look up, slightly offended by how EP decided to grab my attention. Me. Yes, may I help you? EP. Yes, I was wondering how much this one, while pointing at a tank, is. Me. I'm not sure, let me check, I say while walking to the tank. Well, it says here it's only $60. EP. $60? Just a couple days ago I saw this exact one for only $30. Me. No, I'm sorry, that one sold already and we changed it out. EP. You can't just change the price because it's a different one. It's the same breed and everything. Me. Well, yes, while it's the same breed, it's bigger than the other one, and the other one was younger than this one. So it cost us more to maintain this particular one than the last. EP. Well, I don't have that much. Can you give me a discount? Me. I'm sorry, but I can't do that for you. EP. Please, I only have 50 on me. Me. Well, I can't give you a discount, but we do have some that are smaller than this and are cheaper. They're in the back if you want me to go bring you one out. EP. No, I don't want another one. I want this one. Me. Well, I'm sorry, I can't lower the price for this one. Like I said just a few seconds ago, we have more in the back if you want this particular breed. EP. I don't effing want a different one. I would like this one. Me. Please watch your language. There's a kid nearby. EP. I don't care. I want to buy this effing animal. Me. I'm sorry, I can't help you. EP. Let me speak to the manager. Me. Well, I am the manager. EP. I'm going to call the owner. Me. Actually, I am the owner also. EP. Don't lie to me. You're not even old enough to own a car, let alone a store. Me. Yes, I am old enough, and I am the owner. My mom's the co-owner. EP. Quit effing lying to me, B-word. I want to speak to the actual effing owner and not some smart butt teen. Me. Please watch what you say, or I'm going to have to ask you to leave. EP. You can't kick me out. I know the real owner, and he lets me get a discount. I get it all the time. Me. Well, that's good for you now. If you're not going to buy this one and only cause a disturbance in my store, I'm going to ask you to leave. EP. No, I'm not going to leave. You're going to give me a discount, and now I'm getting mad because EP is yelling and cussing at me when I can't change the price and is making a scene over it, just straight out ignoring me. So sell it to me now, or I will call the owner and he will sell it to me. She then walked over to the counter where the cards are with my name and number. EP then dialed the number, then answered the phone at first. I was confused because it states on the card that I'm the owner, but then I remembered it had my mom's number also on the card, and EP actually called hers instead. Luckily, my mom told EP to F off pretty much, and then EP tried to call the other number instead. While EP was dialing my number, EP had this crap-eating grin on their face, looking me dead in the eyes. I'll never forget the look on EP's face when I answered the phone. Me. Hello, this is name of shop, my name speaking. How can I help you? EP hung up and left the store immediately. What I'll never understand is why EP got so upset about that animal. Hospital security gets me fired for going places I'm allowed to go. So I worked an approximate total of 1 shift on a part-time weekend overnight laundry position for a big local hospital. I actually had to undergo a whole 40-hour week of hospital procedure training before that, though. I trained alongside other medical personnel, nurses, orderlies, etc., and was trained on putting out fires, setting up hospital email, and all this junk that no one in laundry does. One part of the training was instruction on places on the hospital property we were allowed to go. One perk of working there was that everyone could use the hospital lounge area, which had a workout room with exercise equipment and relaxing areas located on the second floor of the building where my laundry area was. I hadn't been issued my scan badge thing yet for my first shift because my actual boss works days and I work nights, so there was a disconnect of when to get it. I approached security about scanning open the laundry section as I was a little early and eager to finally get started. Kinda got a side-eye sneer, but he later saw me working in the laundry area, so he knew my story was right. That shift there was a complex series of laundry machine buttons I needed to press, which I scribbled down hastily on some scrap paper. The next day, I show up early again and went to sit in the cafeteria area where the public is allowed. I sit down and remember that I had the scribbled paper and wanted to rewrite it so it was a little bit clearer to remember the buttons to press in which order and to have the sequence more fresh in my memory. Why they don't just have a sign for it's a mystery to me. So I reach for the pen I always carry, and I forgot it that day. So I walk out to my truck to find a pen, and nothing's there either. I walk back in, and the place is deserted. It's like 11 p.m., so I go into the areas I'm allowed into, such as the lounge/exercise area and the lobby, looking for a pen to write with that I could borrow and even make kind of a writing gesture in case they see me looking around on camera. I didn't find one after a few minutes of looking, so I gave up. Shift starts, 20 minutes later, same security guy from the day before comes in, flanked by another guy as backup, and asks to speak with me privately. He asks what I was doing snooping around, and I said, not snooping, just looking for a pen. But I guess he doesn't believe me and tells me I'm not allowed in those areas, despite being trained that I was allowed there. He says he needs to take my badge now, which I did have on me, and needed to escort me to my car. He makes me walk in front of them on my way out to my truck. As I'm unlocking the door, the two security guards both unsnap their holsters. Unbelievable. I was looking for a pen. A few days later, since the job was only 2 days a week, weekends, I get a call from the employment agency that the hospital has decided not to continue the account, which means I'm fired. All because a security guard on a power trip who couldn't be bothered to double check as to whether I was actually allowed there. I spent a 40-hour week of hospital routine training that doctors get in order to work a single 6-hour shift and then get unsnapped on when I look around for a pen to copy some notes on. Maybe I dodged a bullet in more ways than one for not having to deal with that security chump anymore. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed today's stories, and we'll see you soon.